Madhava. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Munatira Yamuna Tira Vanichar Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihar Dava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Bol. So thank you very much everyone for coming to the Sunday Feast program. We'll chant some prayers and then we'll start discussing subject matter related to Ramanujacharya and Sripad Madhavacharya. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam yena bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Gurau Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha. Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, thank you once again to each and every one of you for coming for this Sunday Feast program. The reason all of us are here, because all of us are looking for happiness. That is the main reason why we are here, you are here. And we are trying to find happiness in so many different things, but somehow or the other, we are getting frustrated unless we are actually connecting to ourselves and to the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna. There are things in this world which can give some kind of temporary, relief to the body, to the mind, to the senses, but very few things can actually touch the heart, touch the soul. So when we actually connect to ourselves and to the Lord, then we can actually satisfy the soul. And the nature of the soul is always to be happy. Satchid Anand, to be always blissful. And in that pursuit, even people who are trying to practice, spiritual life, it may take some time. For some people, it may happen in 1 minute, based on the sincerity. If you are sincere, then immediately you can actually understand the Lord and attain that bliss. But for some, it may take some time. So, yes, we do have enthusiasm, in the beginning, and then there is determination to continue it. Because you may have enthusiasm for some time and then you may give it up. So we have to be determined. And then for the fruits to fructify, then you need patience. It needs time. If you see in this material world also, it takes some time. Like, for example, if you do a PhD, how much time does it take to do a PhD? 4 years, 5 years, sometimes it takes 6 years, 7 years, right? And there are a lot of people, even after doing a PhD, they don't land a job. Right? So we have seen some people. There was a person who graduated out of a PhD and he didn't get a job. So what he was doing is he was digging the holes for, on the road there are posts. He was digging holes for the posts so that they can be put inside. So then we asked, what are you doing? He said, I am a PhD and I am doing PhD. He said, what is PhD? He said, I am a pothole digger. So even in this world, it takes some time. And Srila Prabhupada is a Paramhamsa. And she is the founder Acharya. Paramhamsa means a great saint, saintly person. Hamsa is like a swan. And we are all the servants of Srila Prabhupada. We are the servants of our spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. So we are also PhDs, Paramhamsa Das. So this Das title that we get, at the time of initiation in the parampara of Srila Prabhupada, which is coming from Madhavacharya. There are 4 Vaishnava Sampradayas, Sri Sampradaya, Rudra Sampradaya, Brahma Madhav Gaudiya Sampradaya, and 4 Kumar Sampradaya. So when we take initiation, when we get connected to one of these Sampradayas, we get this title Das, which means you are the servant of the Lord. So this title is like much more higher than any of these PhDs. It has more value because it is eternal. PhD can just end by this lifetime. But this title Das is eternal. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that whatever devotional service that we do in this life stays eternally with us. This life, next life, and after that. Swalpam api dharmasya trayato mahato bhayat. And it saves us from the biggest kind of dangers. So in the pursuit of happiness, we are trying to connect ourselves to these different sampradayas, to the Mahamantra, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and there are different names of the Lord in different religions, So one of our acharyas quote that if we are connected to one of these sampradayas, then we can understand true spirituality. Then we can gain the knowledge about true spirituality. And I'm going to discuss from Madhavacharya first, because one of the great saints of the motherland of India was Madhavacharya, whose disappearance day was yesterday. He was born 800 years back. And today is the disappearance of Ramanujacharya. So Ramanujacharya is another great son of motherland of India, is a great teacher who taught almost everything about, deity worship and all the temples, especially the largest temple in South India, Sri Rangam temple, is built under his, direction and guidance. So we'll discuss about him also. We'll discuss some stories, and the lessons from those stories from both of these great saints. So first I would like to discuss about Madhavacharya. So Madhavacharya, he took his birth near Udupi. Udupi is a small town in India. So that is like, if everybody knows about Mumbai, it's south of Mumbai. And it is near Mangalore. And around 800 years back, Madhavacharya took birth. And once Madhavacharya in the evening, he was remembering the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, and he was writing a lot of poems about him. And while he was writing poem and remembering Krishna, the next day he went to the seashore. And there is Arabian Sea there. So he went to the seashore, he was taking a walk, he was just chanting these beautiful prayers and mantras and everything. And he was sitting there. And he saw a ship that is coming from the ocean, and it is about to topple because there is a huge storm there. And the merchant of the ship, the sailor, the main person on the ship, he was just like waving hand to Madhavacharya, please help me, because there is no one for him to help in the sea. And so generally when we are into difficulty, then we try to turn towards saintly people, we try to find a solution, So that is one of the cardinal teachings of the Bhagavad Gita also. In the Bhagavad Gita, when Arjuna couldn't find answers to his questions, whether he should fight or not fight, he was confused. So he turned towards Krishna. And he said, Karpanya dosho pahata svabhava. My dear Lord, now I am no more your friend. I am your disciple. Please guide me. So this is one of the primary teachings here. And as soon as he, was waving to Madhavacharya, Madhavacharya saw that the ship is toppling, about to topple because of the strong storm. And when we are talking about the ship, we also know Srila Prabhupada, when he came from India to the West, he was on a cargo ship. And he said, when I was on the ship, it was like a matchbox toppling on water. So he was seasick and he was traveling for 35 days just to come here and, establish these temples and establish the Mahamantra and, these so many scriptures that we have, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, so many things for all of us. So when the sailor, he waved, Madhavacharya, with his mystic powers, he waved a cloth and immediately the storm subsided. It was all calm. And then Srila Prabhupada also tells, when he was coming on the ship, the ocean after some time was so peaceful, because after he had heart attacks, he got a dream that Lord Krishna is actually, there, and with all his different 10 incarnations, he's protecting the ship. And the captain of the ship was interviewed after a few years, and he said he had never sailed across the Atlantic Ocean with the ocean being so peaceful and so calm. So, anyways, the merchant came to the shore, and he just with folded palms to Madhavacharya said, thank you for saving me, because all my life's money and earnings were in that ship. I had bought something from Dwarka, I am coming from Gujarat. So thank you for that. I am ready to give you everything, whatever you want. And Madhavacharya said, I do not want anything. And he said, do you have some Gopi Chandan? Gopi Chandan is like, which you put tilak, whatever tilak I am putting, it's like made up of clay. So he said, I have it, but it is of no value. He said, no, that's okay, bring it. So he said, let me get it for you. And this Gopi Chandan were like big blocks of clay, like blocks. They were put at the bottom of the ship so as to balance the ship, to make it stable. And he got this block, and as soon as they broke that block, a beautiful deity of Lord Sri Krishna came out from that, holding a stick in the hand, on one hand, and on the other hand holding some food. And that was Udupi Krishna. So the disciples bathed the deity in Madhav Sarovar, and it was so heavy that 30 men couldn't lift it, because Krishna wanted his pure devotee Madhavacharya to lift it. With both hands, Madhavacharya lifted the deity, and he established a very simple temple, because everybody was excited to build a nice temple for the deity. But Madhavacharya, no, I want very simple temple, and we establish some worship there. So even till date, there are like 8 most senior disciples of Madhavacharya that are actually taking care of those deities. And every 16 years they get a chance to worship the Lord. And they spend their life preparing for funds and facilities to basically worship the Lord. So this is a very important lesson we learned from this pastime about the importance of having a guru, a mentor, a guide in spiritual life. And then second pastime I would like to share is when Madhavacharya was actually traveling to Himalayas, from South India to Himalayas, he was digging, he was going through a town. I think they want to talk. He told I don't get angry because I'm... So, anyways, so they were passing through a town, and then across the town, there was a king. And this king was basically a very pious person. And one of the pious things is to dig a lake, because everybody can drink water from it and use the lake. So the king was pious, but he was doing this pious activity in a very impious way. What he was doing is, whoever is passing through the town, he will just hold him and ask him to dig the lake. without even their consent. Nowadays you have everywhere you have to consent, Facebook consent, and this website cookies accept consent. There's so many privacy laws, California Privacy and Protection Act, and so many things. But he said, no, just come and dig the lake. So, and Madhavacharya was passing through that place, and the soldiers, the army of the king, asked him and his followers to start digging the lake. And he said, no, we are on the way to Himalayas. We have some important business there. We have to, meet Vyasadev, our Gurudev. So he said, no, you have to dig the lake. Then he said, Madhavacharya said to the army men, okay, take me to your king. And Madhavacharya spoke in such a compassionate and loving way to him. He told that you are the leader of all the citizens in this province. Your whole army is looking up to you. So if you start digging, then everybody will follow you. You have to set an example. Just like in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna also tells Arjuna that those people who are leaders, they should be exemplary so that common people can follow them. Yad yad acharati shreshtas tatta deve tarojana sayat pramanam kurute lokas tadanuvartate. So Krishna is telling this in the Bhagavad Gita. So he said, okay, so the king was very happy to hear from Madhavacharya, and he started digging the lake with a plow. And when all the army and soldiers saw, oh, our king is digging, they also started digging the lake. And as soon as everybody started digging the lake, Madhavacharya and his followers, they left for Himalaya. So Srila Prabhupada often says that, nowadays when war happens, the leader, they generally sit in a room and they smoke cigarette. And the whole army is, whole army is fighting. But in those days, even few hundred years back, if you see, the leader will always march in the front, They will fight with valor, with bravery. They will not be sitting in a room and just seeing on the television what's going on. So yeah, this is another example where we learn the lesson that we all are also leaders in some way, in little ways. As parents, we are leaders for our children. We want our children to be great, but how do children learn? Children learn by seeing us, what example we are setting, or in our society, or in a community. One last story on Madhavacharya is when they were passing through a jungle, there were dacoits. And the dacoits attacked him and his entourage. And Madhavacharya knew the weakness of these dacoits, because what dacoits want is money. So what he did is he took a piece of cloth and he rolled it and threw it like a ball of gold. So with his mystic power, that ball of cloth looked like a ball of gold. So everybody started running towards it. All the dacoits, the whole gang started running towards it. And one person got it, other person said, no, I want it. And third person, no, I want it. And they started fighting between each other with their clubs and arrows and swords and everything. and they started stabbing and killing each other. So this is the nature of the greed. Sometimes we see in a family or even religious circles, people can be united for a common cause. But due to greed and selfishness, what happens is they become envious and they destroy each other. So we have seen that when a family is poor, they love each other so much. But when they have money, then, siblings fight with each other over money and property and land, right? Wars are there because of land. So when greed enters the heart, even people with religious society or very, innocent people, they also can become enemies to each other. So especially in these times, there is Kali Yuga, which we say there is all these things reside in intoxication, gambling, meat eating, and illicit relationships. If these activities are there, it's not favorable for us in any way, right? Like in so many different ways. Another thing we see from this pastime of Madhavacharya is that even today, His Holiness Badrinath Swami Maharaj was telling that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, if you see on the left, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu are there, who have spread this Sankirtan movement which we are just chanting. So they also took 2 lessons from Madhavacharya. First is the refutation of the impersonal philosophy. Impersonal philosophy means God doesn't have a form, I am God, you are God, everybody is God. So he refuted that. And second, he established the deity worship of Krishna. So these are the 2 important teachings which Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took and is established in our sampradaya, in our community. So now I will move to Ramanujacharya. So we know Ramanujacharya, his 1000 years of birth was celebrated around 5-6 years back. So that was a great celebration. And today is his disappearance day. So this is an auspicious day. So let us hear about his story. So there is an island in the Kaveri river, and there is a beautiful temple called Srirangam, which is very huge, like 150 acres, one of the largest temples. We also have one TOVP temple in Mayapur. So this temple is a huge temple, and there Ramanujacharya used to stay, and he would teach the principles of loving devotional service to the Lord. So he had a disciple, his successor was a disciple, his name was Parashar, a Ramanujacharya disciple. He was 5 years old, and there was a debate in that area. He's less than 5 years old, probably. So Parashar was 5 years old, and there was a great debate competition going on there. So, those days there was no like baseball or NFL or, even cricket wasn't there. But debate was a great sport. So anyone who wins debate is considered to be the greatest scholar and the best champion. So there was a debate, and if you defeat someone in debate, then you are a hero actually. But for this debate competition, there was a person who was very arrogant. He had like defeated everybody. He was very arrogant, and he was invited to Srirangam. And Parashar challenged him, okay, I will fight with him in debate. And when this person saw Parashar that, oh, he's so young, just 5 years old, he said, get out from here. Your mother's breast milk is still on your face. You cannot fight in debate with me. Get lost. And Parashar was very enthusiastic. He said, if you are an educated person, you should not distinguish between the body. We are all souls. Why are you distinguishing that I have a small body or I have less age? If you are knowledgeable, you should not identify me with some small age. And then Parashar actually took some sand in his hand and asked him, this is a question for you, my dear sir. How many grains of sand are there in my hand? And this person was bewildered how to answer that question. He was confused. And while he was confused, Parashar said that you consider yourself to be a great learned scholar, and those who are knowledgeable are like those trees which have fruits on them. A tree with fruit is always laden, is always bent down, it is always humble. But you are like a tree which is straight and very high. With all your knowledge, it is useless if you do not have respect for all the living entities and you do not have love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All your knowledge is just like the grains of this sand, and it threw it. And this person was bewildered. What did he just say? Had it come from someone else, like equal to his age, he wouldn't have paid attention. But it's coming from a 5-year-old child. It pierced his heart so much that he jumped off his palanquin and bowed down before Parashar and said, "Please accept me as a disciple." So after that, what happened is, Parashar grew up and he also had a disciple. And his disciple had a question with Parashar. He said, "My dear Gurudev, my dear spiritual master, what are the qualities that I should have to truly understand who I am?" And first Parashar responded, humility. So he teaches by example. He said, humility, I am very humble. So what he said is, I cannot answer this question. So he's depicting humility in his own character. He said, in order to get answer to this question, you have to go to another teacher, Anantacharya, and he will give you answer to that question. I am not self-realized. So he said, in Tirupati, which is 400 miles from here, there is a mountain, and on top of this mountain there is a hermitage of Anantacharya. So you go there and ask this question. So Parashar went and he crossed these 7 mountains and all these jungles which are infested with like lions and tigers and jackals and dogs and even mosquitoes. And he reached there in few days, because in those days there weren't any flights you can take or, trains or car, no roads were there, Ford wasn't there. So he just went by walking. And he went to the Hermitage Retreat Center of Anantacharya. And he asked this question, "My dear sir, I am the disciple of Parashar, and I have come to ask this question from you. What are the qualities I should assimilate to understand that who I am?" Anantacharya said, "Let me think about it and I'll give you the answer after some time." And then he gave him a little hut to stay, and he was staying there. And he was serving in the ashram, in the hermitage. And 6 months passed like this. And then Anantacharya came and said, "We are celebrating a big event. And in that big event, we are inviting a lot of people from the town, all the towns that are nearby. And there would be a big feast also. There would be kirtan, there would be katha, and their feast will be there. So your duty is to serve everybody." So this student was serving everyone. And the whole day he was serving. And then he sat down to take some food. And then Anantacharya said, "No, other people are also coming. Go and serve them." So second batch, third batch, fourth batch. And it was like midnight and nobody was there. And finally he sat down with his plate and he was just about to eat. And Anantacharya came. And he said, "If I remember, you had a question for me." And he jumped with happiness and said, yes, I had a question. What are the qualities that I should imbibe to truly understand who am I? Then Anantacharya said that the qualities are, you should be like salt, you should be like chicken, and you should be like crane. And the person should be like you. 4 things he said. And he was very respectfully bewildered by hearing this answer, because that was the only answer he gave, and he left from that place. He didn't give any explanation of it. So the student just packed his bags and he just left again 400 miles and went to his guru Parashar and said, "This is the answer I got." And as soon as he told this answer to his guru Parashar, he also jumped in ecstasy and said, wow, what a beautiful answer. It has so much understanding to it. And he said, okay, please tell me what it really means. And Parashar explained to him. And he said, that person should be like a salt means, just a minute. Salt has to be balanced. Just like in life, life has to be balanced. If suppose the salt is more in a preparation or it is less, what will happen? It will not satisfy us. Similarly, life has to be balanced. In the Bhagavad Gita, also Krishna says, do not eat too much, do not eat too less, do not sleep too much, do not sleep too much. Do your work and recreation. Yukta ahara viharasya, yukta karma cheshtasu, yukta swapna bodhasya, yogo bhavati dukkha. So there should be a balance in life also. Right? We do satsang, association of devotees, sadachar, seva, we do devotional service to the Lord. So our health, our spiritual health, all these things have to be balanced. Generally, when challenges come in our life, we have a tendency to go to extremes. Right? And you have to find a balanced approach there. And second quality of salt is that it is invisible. You know, you put the salt into the preparation and it gives so much flavor, but how many people actually taste the salt? When was the last time that you prepared something and somebody said, the salt is so fabulous? Have you heard about that? Please raise your hand if you had that experience. Because they will always praise the spices, they will praise the grains or paneer or whatever is the main ingredient. They will say, oh, this paneer sabji is so good. Nobody will say, the salt is so nice. It's so perfect. So it is invisible because it never expects recognition. Similarly, a yogi, someone who is on the path of this spirituality, they also are situated in dharma that they want to do so much for the satisfaction of others but not for himself. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives the verse, Amanina manadena kirtanya sadahari, giving respect to others and expecting none in return. In that mood only we can chant the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, I am the intelligence of the intelligent. I am the ability among men. So whatever we have, we always have that consciousness that is entrusted to us by the Lord in our care. And in that spirit, we can actually satisfy the Lord. And whatever pleases us is what we share. So the third quality of the salt is that it merges into the preparation, right? And loses its identity from the preparation. So when we separate our caste, our nationality, our ego, then we can actually develop nice relationship with everybody. And when we go beyond our ego, we can actually experience true relationship with God. Because when we are thinking we are the doer, we are the controller, so we are always in anxiety. That is the root cause of anxiety, right? Because not everything is in our control. We can do, yes, we do have some things to control, but not everything. So similarly, when we go beyond our ego, then we can actually taste the nectar of the relationship with all the living entities and with the Lord. Second, he said, you are like a chicken. So what is the quality of a chicken? If you leave a chicken in a heap of garbage, what it will do is, it will just go and select some nutritious grains. It will not eat the garbage. So that is the quality of chicken. So what we can learn from a chicken is, that person should look at the good qualities of others. It is very easy to criticize or condescend others. Very, very easy. Because that gives us a feeling of superiority. Oh, I am better than you. Right? And that is because of ego, and it makes us feel great. but a chicken actually sees good in others. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who is the guru of Srila Prabhupada, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, he said that I see fault in others because I myself am honeycombed with faults. And when you point like one finger to other, 3 fingers are actually pointing towards you. Right? So if it's necessary to find fault in others, then we find it to benefit them and protect them from that influence, but it is to benefit and not to bring down others. Yes, sometimes something is going wrong, we have to point it out so that others are not exploited or abused or, but that should be in a way to benefit them. So we should be seeking the essence, not the sectarian distraction of rituals. So that is very, very important. Third lesson is third qualities of a crane. What is the quality of a crane? Has anyone seen a crane standing in a stream of water where fishes are passing by? What does it do? Anyone wants to?
Hyper-focused, like it's focused.
Focused, very nice, yes. What is it focusing on? Fish, yeah. So many small fishes are passing by. And the crane is seeing the fishes are passing by, and as soon as a big fish passes, it just picks up the big fish and eats it. So I'm not recommending to eat fish because we don't eat fish or eggs. So don't take me wrong. But the thing is to focus on the important things in life. Because what happens is that in life what happens, we get anxiety about little things. We get into quarrel over so many little things, even with our loved ones. Very, very small things. And if you don't understand what are the big and important things in life, then the little fish actually seem to be big fish. A pebble can seem like a mountain. That is the quality of the mind. Sometimes these small things, the mind will just magnify them and create a big quarrel out of it. So, but by this association, we can understand, by hearing, by chanting, we can understand what is important for us in life. And this human life is very, very rare. So we cannot waste our time in all those small fishes. What is the quality of something that is rare? A diamond is very much rare. Sand, it is not rare. Suppose the Pacific beach, you go just 1 mile away. The Pacific beach, instead of sand, it is filled with all gems and diamonds. And probably diamond would have no value. You would pay money to buy some sand. Right? So the quality of something that is rare is it is very precious. The human form of life, it is so precious that we have to use it very nicely on the important things in life. One of the important things is our spiritual well-being, along with our own health and so many other things we discussed. We have to balance that. And fourth thing that Anantacharya told Parashar was, that person should be like you, because you waited so patiently for 6 months to get this answer, So you're talking about this PhD, is like so patiently doing PhD, but he was doing like pothole digging. So the idea is, if we just have an open heart, we can learn from common things like salt, chicken, and crane. And this heart is like a field. And the seed of knowledge can actually fructify from the heart when the land is tilled with gratitude, with humility, and with devotion. Only then this seed can fructify and blossom into a flower of realization, realized knowledge. So these are a few of the qualities that we should also strive to imbibe within ourselves to progress in spiritual life. And Srila Prabhupada himself exemplified all these teachings of, when he came to America in Haight-Ashbury, he was looking at the good qualities which, people at that time, they knew they had that potential. And he fanned the spark in everybody and gave them the ability to make themselves into a great devotees of the Lord and live such a pure lifestyle and become Brahmins. So Srila Prabhupada actually exemplified all those qualities, and he saw the potential, and he established this movement of Krishna consciousness all over the world. So therefore we have this great opportunity on especially this auspicious day to come together and realize, these teachings, and not just information but transformation within ourselves. So let us take these teachings to the heart from our great saints and meditate upon them and see how we can imbibe them into our life. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, comments, please. Yes, Priya Sakhi Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So when you said about the balanced life, can you tell a bit more? What does it mean, like balanced soul, like balanced material and spiritual life, or what does it mean?
Yeah, so Krishna gives the answer in 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. He says, like, Swapna bodhasya, like sleeping, waking up, work, yoga karma cheshtasu, like doing your work. And, we also need some recreation, right? And eating what we are eating, balancing those things, and spiritual life. So yes, it means taking care of our body also, and our spiritual practices also, our work, and all those things. So yes, balancing both the things. Basically, if you see, eventually everything is driven towards spiritual life. If you take care of your body, then you can actually meditate. You can chant the mantra. If you are sick, right? You have like 105 Fahrenheit fever. You can't really do anything. You are just lying there. So this body is like a machine, right? Yantra runani maya is like a machine which is given to us by nature, by the Lord. So if we have to engage that in His service, then we have to keep ourselves healthy. So yes, we should not think that this is material and this is spiritual. Everything is actually spiritual. It can be utilized. Like Srila Prabhupada used to give example, this microphone. You can see that is, I can touch it, so depends on the usage. If I am speaking the message of the Lord, then this also becomes spiritualized. Right? So if we are utilizing our body, then every aspect of our life, even the job you are doing in Qualcomm or Microsoft or whatever, that is also spiritual activity. If you are devotee, if you are doing it for the Lord. So if you are raising nice children, they are learning nice things, then that is also spiritual activities. We shouldn't think, these children have to, I shouldn't take care. It's not like that. The spouse, the Lord has arranged the spouse for us, and job and our responsibilities. So by doing our occupation, by doing our dharma for the Lord, without expectation for any good or bad results. So that is bhakti yoga, that is devotional service. Nishkam karma yoga. Yeah. Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. How you came to Krishna consciousness in your life?
Mataji, you should tell how you came. You are very senior.
No, no. I will be so honored to hear. And thank you for the nice class.
You should tell Mataji something. Yeah. First you tell, then I will tell probably. Professor, please. Give it to her. You can tell briefly, then I can tell after that.
Okay. Well, very briefly, in 1974, I was working across the street from New Dwarka in an office, and one day, lunchtime, I was praying. I was asking God, please help me to find out what's happening. period. And I went around, it's kind of perpendicular. You can't see the temple from my office. It kind of was hidden by other buildings. So I went to different churches, and they were all locked. And then I went around the corner 2 or 3 blocks, and I came across the devotees. And I had seen them before, and I always wondered what they were about. So I asked one of them, was Danavir. He's now Guru. And I stopped on the sidewalk, and I said, what's going on, you know? And he said, well, come and we'll tell you. So he was so bright-faced, and the devotees were so bright-faced, and they were having a picnic for Radharani on that day. And so I came in and had some prasadam and was preached to, and in a couple of weeks I moved into the temple by Prabhupada's grace only.
Yeah. 1974, I wasn't even born that time. All glories to. Let's have a big hand for Mataji, you know. Thank you very much. Such a glorious service you have done for Srila Prabhupada and the movement. I mean, yes, yeah, amazing. Thank you. Yeah, I just came because of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. I chanted one round and I felt so happy chanting it, and it helped me in so many ways. So that's how I came. You know, in my office, somebody used to take like Bhagavad Gita classes. I was working at AT&T. So it is like 50-floor building, and on Friday evening, one devotee used to hold classes there in St. Louis. Yeah. And he told me about this chanting Mahamantra. So I just get up in the morning, brush my teeth, and sit and just chant. And it was so, I felt so blissful and happy. I said, oh, I liked it. So that is the power of the mantra. That was 2008, 7, 8, like that, yes. 15 years probably ago, yeah. Yes, Prabhu, he has a question. Thank you for sharing, Mataji. That's so nice. So that marks like 50 years now. 1974 to 2024. Wow. Jai. Who is that first person?
I'm only still here because of my beloved husband, Nandana, and Prabhupada and all the devotees.
Yogendra, yeah. Rajendra Nandan Prabhu, yeah. Rajendra Nandan Prabhu ki jai. He's such a exemplary devotee. Very inspirational, yes.
Hi Prabhu. I just wanted to understand, you told that one of the qualities that as a person we need to have is a quality of a salt. Why do you think the Guru did not say the quality of sugar? Because the sugar and salt had the similar properties there, whatever that you gave as an explanation. So sugar also has a similar property. So why do you think it should be?
Because you were not there. If you were there, probably he would have said sugar instead of salt. Yeah, that's a good reasoning, Prabhu. Anyone else? I don't know, Prabhu, the answer to that question. I'm sorry. Maybe we can talk after the class.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
So basically this question is for the teenager group.
Yes,
like
yes.
I have a teenager here,
yes.
yeah. So in your whole experience of 15 years, so he's in the college right now,
Yeah.
how he can practice your teachings in his life when there is a conflicts going on currently. And he asked me, what should I do? So I can explain the best way I can. But if you can give some, tips or some of your teachings, that would be really helpful.
What kind of conflicts are you talking?
Like what's happening currently in the world. Like you said, you mix with the salt, or so he's in the college and multiple things. For example, okay, like why I should go to the temple, why others are not going. So it's just an example.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
And that's a good example.
Yeah. So I try to do my best, but if you can just give from your experience, that would be nice.
So why not everybody is coming to the temple, right? So let's take that. So our teacher Srila Prabhupada said that how many people do you see in a diamond shop? Very few. right? But if you go to a shop where there are artificial jewelry being sold, a lot of people are there to buy it because it is costly. It is, not everybody is so rich. So in order to practice spirituality, you have to have that kind of inclination, number one, right? You have to gain that knowledge here. So not everybody is ready. And the reason is because the outside influence, especially in this age of Kali Yuga, it is too much towards the negative side. That's why on Garnet you see so many clubs, so many things. There is just one temple and so many other things are there. So that is the nature of this world. Having said that, but if you take to spirituality, if you take to this lifestyle, then you will be very successful in every aspect of life. Like I'm telling you, when I started chanting this Mahamantra, I was working as a software engineer. I got so much concentration, focus, and clarity of thought, that I did my job really well after that. It really helped me in that aspect. So that is just a material thing. That's just a thing. But what I'm saying is, you as a student, if you take to spirituality, understand this, it will teach you how to handle situation which is full of crisis, right? Because difficulty will come in everybody's life, whoever we are. And we expect problem and suffering to come at every moment. So Srila Prabhupada said like that, at every step there is danger. Yet, at every step, padam natesham. Yeah, yad vibdam natesham. So this world, you expect those difficulties. But how to handle with those situations, turn those difficulties into opportunities, is what we should know. So in the summer we went to California, redwood forest trees, and sometimes there is forest fire. And I was talking to this park ranger, these park rangers are there. I was talking to him, what happens in a forest fire? So he said, sometimes the forest fire is really good for the forest. I said, how? He said, because it clears the canopy for the sunlight to come down. And all those like old leaves which are lying down, they also burn. And the corn opens up, and within the corn there is a seed. So the seed also falls on the ground is clear, and a new tree can grow from there. So fire can sometimes be nice, So if there are difficulties in life, take it as an opportunity. Instead of just giving it up and getting discouraged. So this spiritual life, this education, Bhagavad Gita doesn't teaches us to get discouraged, it teaches us to get encouraged. Arjuna was discouraged, he kept down his bow, he said, I am not going to fight, my dear Lord. And Krishna enthused him, he motivated, no, you should fight. That's your duty. So the prime teaching of Bhagavad Gita is actually to love Krishna, to love the Supreme. I'm not telling you that you should also go and fight. But the thing is, in the process of loving Krishna, you will know how to handle difficult situations. Because difficult situation will come. Whether you are a teenager, you have different things. You are an adult, once you get married, you have wife, kids, or husband and kids. And once you grow old. But spirituality will give you that ammunition, how to handle those. And make life blissful and be grateful in every situation. Right? So when people say, why are you coming to the temple? Then you can learn a lot of things here, especially the teachings of Srila Prabhupada, and make your student life very successful, and then future also. Yeah. So we can talk more after. It's the time for Kirtan. So Balaram Prabhu is going to speak.